Good old battle chess. Not for the Amiga, not for the PC. Yep, for the Commodore 64. If you go talk to a group of old Commodore users, probably half will be shocked that there was even a battle chess released for the 64, which is kind of odd because it did come out in, I believe, 88. But yeah, it's a lot of them just had no idea that there was a version. But of the other 50%, you'll get a mixed bag. Some people remember it really fondly, and others, kind of like me, I kind of fall in the camp of, yeah, technically it's pretty nice, but the load times, even for back in the day, was just kind of excessive. Every single move you do, or the computer does, it slows down because it has to think and then load the animation. Every single animation is loaded. This is one of those games that have the dreaded off disk copy protection, which means you have to go dig through the manual and input something from the manual. So the pirates and those that downloaded the wares didn't have to worry about that because it was usually circumvented really quick and really early. But the people who actually paid for the box release had to put up with that nonsense. In this video, we're just going to see on a completely stock system with even a CRT monitor. When I say completely stock, I mean completely stock, nothing else. This particular video, I'm not going to try to win, so I'm not going to sit and think really long. Probably just going to go maybe 10-15 minutes into the game. That'll be enough for you to get a pretty good idea of kind of how slow and sludgy playing this is. I do plan on making a part 2 in a day or so. That part 2 will explain modern takes on how to play it faster, which I did kind of touch on in one of my older historical videos, which I'll put a card up. If you want to see that right away to see how it compares with a more modern solution, that's one good idea. But otherwise, I will make a part 2, which will be much more expansive on the idea than that old historical video. And let's take a look at the box and its contents. Here we have the box front. It's the original floppy. Here's a backup I made when I was cleaning this floppy and getting it working. I made a video on that, and you'll see a card up on the screen right about now. Software registration card. Reference card. And the manual. Now, this manual's pretty long, so I'll show each page, but I'm gonna just kind of flip through them pretty quick. If you want to read every page, just go ahead and pause on each page and then play to get to the next page. In the previous video I did showing myself cleaning and repairing the floppy. I made a backup, so I'm going to use that backup instead of the original. In this video we're going completely stock, and I'm not even going to do any cuts, no jump cuts. I'm doing it this way to give the full experience of how it would have been back in the day. That means longer load times and everything. You'll be able to compare in part 2 about how it's completely different with modern technology and modern releases compared to how it was originally. I'm also thinking that there's some people out there in my viewership that would like to see the full experience, including the load times. If you're one of those people, let me know in the comment section, because it seems the majority of people don't want that. They want everything cut, but I'm thinking some of the old retro heads out there would really appreciate to see the full video. But you gotta let me know. If there are some people like that, I'll make some more videos like that specifically for you so you can get the full experience. Anyhow, I'm not going to play a complete full game here. That could potentially take hours with all the load time and thinking. So I'm just going to give it maybe a 10-15 minute go so you can see some animations and see how the flow goes. But we'll play it by ear. And I'll be back to talk to you at the end. And let's get to it. Oof. 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 Let me use another camera app. I will be right back. Sorry about the small fib there. You just lost maybe 5 seconds of load time. That's about it. So let's get going. Oh, and for longtime viewers, this one I am not using RF. I actually did some small repairs to this old TV and I'm using composite and it gives a cleaner signal. Alright, here we have that off-disk copy protection, so we have to break out the manual. So in the back of this they have 15, or they have a number of like 20 simulated games, and we have to look for number 15 and move 7 by white. So here we go. We have simulation 15 and 7 white, which would be B-Q2. Since it's side B. Okay, we're red. Not thinking really hard here. I'll do that in part 2. Yeah, let's do this. wouldn't normally do this. And you get to see a battle. See, that load time can get frustrating, especially by modern sensibilities. Oh, there I go thinking. Can't be doing that. Yeah, let me just give you some cool fights. Still loading, 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 loading. All right, let's wrap this up. See if we can get some queen on queen action here. Or maybe we'll get a queen on pawn. Rather see the queen on queen. Yep, queen on queen. Loading, loading, loading. Probably see why now. A lot of people didn't like the load times. It's pretty good. That's different than the other versions. Some of these animations are different than the PC and Amiga versions. Well, that's pretty much going to do it. I'm not going to play this whole game, especially when I'm not trying. So, yeah, I think I'll make a part 2, and I'll show how to use a modern solution and really improve the game, I believe. So, you know, you probably see, even if the load times are just too much for you for modern sensibility or even old school sensibility, those load times are between the thinking times and load times, and when you get towards the end, the thinking times are even longer. So, yeah, it can be a bit much, but really, this is one of those games where you get a modern release and some modern hardware, and it really shines. And this is another one that I think Commodore dropped the ball on. By the late '80s, they should have developed their own hard drive solution that was cost effective or at least comparable to the market. But Commodore being Commodore, they were always the leader on price on most things. So they could have developed a hard drive solution that was economical and push it. There are things they didn't push it. Anyhow, I can get on to rambling, but that's about to do it. So I will see you on part 2 and other videos. Please like, subscribe, and give me feedback. Feedback helps. Feedback, good or bad. If you have some critiques, hey, I'm a big man. So anyhow, thank you. Talk to you on the next one.